One of the reasons I am talking a lot about AccuQuilt is that I've quilted for a lot of years. I spent whole days cutting quilts out that I could sew together, and that was always the dreaded part. When I discovered AccuQuilt and I found out that I can cut that same quilt in 20 minutes or 40 minutes, it's like, I have to tell you about this. I just do. There are all of these dies. Yes, it's great for people who like to do applique, but I am not going to tell you that you have to go buy all these dies because you don't. What you need to do is invest your money in getting a cutting system. So this is the electric cutter here, which folds up like so. It's got a handle on it, so you could store it easily. But quite honestly, when you start using it, if you're sewing a lot, it'll be open all the time. There is a manual cutter with a handle, which right now it's standing up. It will open and lay on the table. It's another cutter that is a little more inexpensive, but does the same thing. This, the first cutter that we just showed you is a little wider, and so it accepts any size die that you put through it. But the important thing is that when you get a cutting system, you get something called a cube. This is an example of a cube. You're going to hear people talk about it, and you're going to say, okay, that's great. It's like talking a foreign language, and I totally get it because that's the way it was for me. But when you open this cube and you pull these blocks out, there's a trick to getting these out, they tell me. Usually pull out the narrow piece first. There's a disc in there that will tell you some things about using it. But in this section here and in this section here, you will open it up, and there are 4 dies in here, okay? And that's what a cube looks like. Now, you're going to say, okay, there are those dies in there. Well, what do they do? Well, I'm going to tell you that every single cube has these dies inside the cube. The difference is that these dies are different sizes. In other words, you can get a cube that's 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches, okay, 9 inches. And every single cube has these same dies, but it will cut out a bigger or smaller pattern. And these strip dies, look at, there's all kinds of strip dies, and you're going to hear me sing about those for a long time. If you want a die that cuts 1.5-inch strips, yes, that it's out there. If you want one that cuts 6-inch strips for borders, it's out there. But you don't have to buy them unless you're making a pattern that calls for those. But you get a 2.5-inch strip die when you purchase a cutting system and a mat that goes on top, and you're good to go. Okay, and you'll also get membership in the AccuQuilt Club, which I run. And so I can teach you how to use the cube and the cutter. These are some of the patterns that you can make. This is made with 5-inch squares and then a little die that cuts the orange peel. And you can design something like this. AccuQuilt is great. It will provide you with patterns, but I didn't have a pattern for this. I just put it together and felt so creative when I got done. I did the same thing with the orange peel on this one, and I got this great big long table runner for a very long table. Just simple and easy, and you can play with your fabrics. Now, AccuQuilt also has embroidery. I always hold this up because you can see how cute it is. The die is just for some very boring pumpkins. It doesn't give you much. I mean, what are you going to do with them except change up your fabrics and maybe applique them on a quilt? But then when you add embroidery that AccuQuilt company provides, and the embroidery is free to you if you come to my AccuQuilt Club, you can do some really cool things. Okay? I could go on and show you a whole lot of things. There is a die for something like a bear paw if you want a bear paw pattern. However, you can make the same bear paw pattern using that cube I just showed you. And I teach people how to do that. Come in, make an appointment with me, and I will demonstrate it for you so that you can see what it does. I just get excited about AccuQuilt. So I guess that's pretty much it in a nutshell.